Hi, this is Mrs. Carey, and I'm talking about how to do your note cards today. Most of you already have these done, so this is more for the kids who are a little bit behind, or it could also be as you do the next subtopics, maybe you need a little refresher on how to do note cards. So on our paper, we already have our 3 subtopics set up. So our first body paragraph is all about early childhood. Second is about adult life, and third is about your person's contributions and accomplishments, basically what made them a big deal. So we are splitting up our research, so we are only looking for one subtopic at a time. So for our first note cards, we were only looking for things about the early childhood. So anything related to your person could be parents, early school, struggles, anything that has to do with before they graduated high school. Okay, so you have this document that reminds you of how to set up your note cards, and we went over this in class, but just to review, first off, you only take notes on the front side of your card. I know it feels probably a little wasteful, but we can recycle these when we're all done. You don't write down everything you read or see. That would be way too many notes. So you are only picking the things from your sources that you think are the most important or the most interesting. Okay. You're going to take many types of notes. So some will be quotes where somebody says something or your person said something that you think is really good and you want to quote them and use their exact words. But most of the time, you'll just be summarizing and kind of paraphrasing, putting into your own words what they said. So you're going to want information from a variety of sources. We said that you have to have 2 sources. You could have more, but you want to have some notes for each subtopic from both of those sources if possible. You don't want to copy down the same info. So if both sources are saying the same things, don't write it down again for source 2. Just look and see if there's something new from source 2 that you can use. Each note card should only have one piece of information. And again, it might seem kind of weird, like, oh, I could fit more on here. But when we do our outlining, you'll see why this is the best way to do it. And the information should only be at one source on a note card. If you quote directly, don't forget to put your little quotes around it. And if you're summarizing or paraphrasing, remember to look at what you read, look away, think about what it said, what it meant, write it in your own words. That way you won't be plagiarizing and stealing from that writer. Okay, so a quick review on how to set up your note cards. At the top left, we put the topic. So for your subtopic 1, it's going to be childhood or early childhood. Then in the right corner, we put the source card number. So is this your first source, your second source? Maybe you have more sources. Here in the middle, you put the note. So 1 note per card. Down here, if you want to say, yeah, this is a quote, you can put a Q, or if you summarize, paraphrase, you can put SP. You can skip that step if you want. That's just mostly to help you. And then a few of us have book sources, but if you have a book source, whatever page that information came from, you have to put that here. Because when you use this note in your paper, you have to give the correct source credit and you have to put the page number if there is one. So that's why we keep track of all of this, so you're not having to go back and search. Here's an example of my note cards for Edgar Allan Poe, and I just did mine on Google Docs so I could show you guys easier. But childhood, so I have my subtopic, I have my source, and then notice my note is just one little thing. Born January 19, 1809. Does not have to be a complete sentence. It's actually better if it's not. That way when you write it, you're putting the fact into your own sentence structure. Okay, he was born in Boston. It talked about how he never knew his parents, so I just put that in my own words. Never knew parents. Dad left the family. Mom died of tuberculosis and Poe was 3. All right, so as you can see, this is how you do your note cards, and I will make this example available to you as well. All right, so after you finish note cards over the first subtopic, childhood, We're going to write our paragraph and finish that, and then we're going to start the next subtopic. So next you'll be looking for anything to do with adult life that doesn't really talk about what they have achieved or accomplished. It's more about what happened in their life leading up to that, or interesting things about their adult life. Okay, well, hopefully this helped you. If not, come and talk to me and I can help in person. Thanks.